For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that the world's energy vault is located in the Middle East, that true power resides in the sands of Saudi Arabia or the skyscrapers of Dubai. But that is a geographical distraction. The largest proven oil reserve on the planet is not in the desert. It is in South America, hidden beneath the mud, the jungle, and the political tragedy of Venezuela. Let's dive into the history and geography that shaped Venezuela as an oil powerhouse and how this wealth became a curse. The history of oil in Venezuela begins long before the arrival of the Europeans. Indigenous peoples were already using mene, as they called the bitumen, to waterproof canoes and as medicine. But it was in the early 20th century that the real race for black gold began. In 1914, the Zumaquira well in the Mene Grande field exploded, revealing the immense potential of the country. This event marked the beginning of the oil era in Venezuela, quickly transforming it into one of the largest producers and exporters in the world. The geography of Venezuela is unique. The vast Orinoco Basin, with its deposits of extra-heavy oil, is the heart of this wealth. This region, known as the Orinoco Oil Belt, contains reserves that exceed those of Saudi Arabia, making Venezuela an asleep energy giant. But the extraction of this extra-heavy oil is a challenge. It requires advanced technology and massive investments, something the country has struggled to maintain. The discovery and exploration of oil transformed Venezuelan society. From an agrarian nation, the country became dependent on black gold. This dependency, however, brought with it the resource curse, where natural wealth, instead of prosperity, generates instability and conflict. Let's explore how politics and ideology intertwined with oil, leading Venezuela down a path of polarization and crisis. The rise of Hugo Chavez to power in 1999 marked a turning point. His Bolivarian revolution promised to use the wealth of oil to benefit the people. Chavez nationalized the oil industry, consolidating state control over PDVSA, the national oil company. This measure, although popular, drove away foreign investors and reduced the company's technical and production capacity in the long term. The high oil prices in the early 2000s allowed Chavez to finance ambitious social programs such as the Bolivarian missions. However, the lack of economic diversification and the continued dependence on oil have made the country vulnerable to fluctuations in the global market. The death of Chavez in 2013 and the rise of Nicolas Maduro exacerbated the crisis. The drop in oil prices revealed the fragility of the economic model. Hyperinflation, food and medicine shortages, and increasing political instability have led to a massive exodus of Venezuelans. Venezuela, once one of the richest countries in Latin America, has plunged into one of the greatest humanitarian crises in recent history. Let's analyze the role of global and regional powers in the Venezuelan crisis, and how oil continues to be at the center of the disputes. Venezuela is not isolated on the global stage. Its vast oil reserves place it at the center of a complex geopolitical game. The United States has historically viewed Venezuela as part of its sphere of influence, and Venezuelan oil has always been of strategic interest. The economic sanctions imposed by the United States aim to pressure Maduro's regime, but they also affect the population and the country's ability to export oil. Russia and China, on the other hand, have been drawing closer to Venezuela, offering financial and military support in exchange for access to resources and regional influence. These alliances reconfigure the balance of power in Latin America and challenge American hegemony in the region. Cuba, a longtime ideological ally, also plays a role by receiving Venezuelan oil in exchange for medical and security services. The Venezuelan crisis has become a battleground for the dispute between great powers, with oil as the main prize. The instability in Venezuela has implications for global energy security and regional stability. What are the challenges and possible solutions for the Venezuelan crisis and the uncertain future of its black gold? Venezuela faces an uncertain future. The recovery of the oil industry is crucial, but it requires investments and deep reforms. The restructuring of PDVSA, the attraction of foreign capital, and the modernization of infrastructure are essential steps. However, political instability and the lack of investor confidence continue to be major obstacles. Economic diversification is another urgent need. Reducing dependence on oil is essential for long-term stability. The development of other industries and the promotion of a healthy business environment are vital for creating jobs and generating sustainable wealth. The humanitarian crisis demands urgent solutions. International aid and regional cooperation are crucial to alleviating the suffering of the population. The international community has a role to play in facilitating dialogue and seeking a peaceful and democratic political solution. The future of Venezuela and its black gold remains uncertain. The geopolitics of oil will continue to shape the country's destiny. But one thing is clear: Venezuela is a powerful reminder of the resource curse and the complexity of energy geopolitics. The history of Venezuela is a lesson on how natural wealth can become a burden and how politics and economics are intrinsically linked. The black gold of Venezuela continues to be a determining factor, not only for the country, but for the balance of global power. And you? Are you in favor of a military intervention in the country? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue producing investigative and high-quality content on crucial topics like this. Until next time, and may Venezuela thrive with its natural wealth.